the Truth and Justice Show here on Virgin Most Powerful Radio. Father, I've been looking at articles for the last 6 months to a year about the Orthodox Church. Now, the Orthodox Church is very broad. I mean, there's a liberal arms of the Orthodox Church. There's conservative, Orthodox ones that hold on, like Father Zachariah Boutros, who's a Coptic priest we know from years back, who's converting all his Muslims to Christianity. But what I've noticed in this article is it's the sacred and it's the unchangeable teachings of Christianity that's grabbing especially young men and women, and they want something traditional, and they see the Catholic Church, and I hate to say this, I mean, I'm Catholic, you're Catholic, last time I looked, it's going to be that way. But here's the point. They see the Catholic Church coming out and saying, oh, we're going to bless same-sex marriages, and the Orthodox Church comes and says to the Catholic Church, you guys are nuts. We're going to cut off our ecumenical ties with you guys because we want nothing to do with you after you do things like that. And I think they're right, too, as a matter of fact. So I wanted to get you to have some time on the air to explain why you think so many young people are flocking, and not only to flocking to the Orthodox Church. In this article, it talked about Catholic men, especially going to the traditional Latin TLM Mass. The traditional Latin Mass is attracting young people for years. What is it, Father Murr?
It's a number of things, truly. But what it is principally is this.
Tell me.
The priests that the Orthodox have, and they have valid priests.
That's right.
Because they have a valid priesthood.
Sure.
They have valid bishops.
Yes.
For the most part, right? For the vast majority of their bishops are validly ordained, and they are successors of the apostle.
Yep.
I've met quite a few Orthodox priests, and most of them seem to me to be men's men.
Yeah.
Let me just put it that way without getting more specific. I think it's understood, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
That attracts men. I remember a psychologist years ago, a wise man, gave a talk to the Opus Dei in the Opus Dei Center in New York, and I attended. Mm-hmm. And a layman, a psychologist, psychiatrist, layman, he said, for every effeminate man you have at the pulpit, you've lost 100 to 500 in the pews.
Wow.
Men.
Interesting. Very interesting.
You've lost 100 to 500 men in the pews.
Wow.
Because most men don't want to listen.
That's right.
Don't want to listen to a man whose manhood is compromised. Let me just put it that way. And I'm trying to be careful.
You're very delicate
and not insulting.
No, you're not. Not at all. It's the truth.
Now, we have become, to a great degree, a church of women, a woman's church. We have women doing everything that the priests before could do. What was considered a sacrilege and a mortal sin, mortal sins before, is now taken over by women who bring communion to the sick, who do this, that, and the other thing. I told you, I think it was last week or the week before, that I went to a parish in New York where I took a woman's communion list for a Thursday to bring communion to the sick.
Yes.
And I visited, I don't know if it was 10 or 15 people that were on her list, bring them Holy Communion. Mm-hmm. None of them had seen a priest in over 8 years.
Horrible.
So nobody had gone to confession in 8 years. No, this is incredible. This is, the feminine is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, Terry. My God,
I get it.
If it weren't for the feminine in the universe, none of us would be here. We understand that.
Of course not.
But it has its place, and masculinity has its place.
There you go.
They're two different roles. It's not that one is superior and the other one inferior. That's not it.
Right.
They're simply different roles. They combine together for a magnificent relationship between husband and wife as its goal. But when the church, for example, is woman heavy, you're sending out the wrong signal.
I agree.
When the priests are not as masculine as they should be. And
Right.
I'm being as polite as I can.
Sure.
You're sending out the wrong signal.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't want to listen to that. Maybe women do. I don't think they do. I don't think so. I think women enjoy listening to a man. Seriously.
Of course they do.
Not because he's always right,
No.
but because his opinion is different from theirs, and they've got to balancing it a little bit. They've got to figure out which is great. That's what the Orthodox have never lost. They've never lost. They've always had men in charge of religion. They've always had women are not second place.
Nope.
But religion belongs to the man. I remember being totally impressed.
Yes.
When I first went to Mexico and was in the highlands of Jalisco, Los Altos de Jalisco.
Mm-hmm.
You would go to anyone's home in the evening,
Yes.
and the family was saying the rosary.
Wow.
The entire family, led by the father,
Awesome.
not the mother, the
Right.
father. Or they waited for the father to come home,
Yep.
because it was important that young men understand that religion is manly.
Yes.
It's not womanly, right? And the woman understood this completely. As a matter of fact, they respected their fathers. They respected the role he took. We've lost that role. This is my whole point.
Yeah, I
We've
get
given
it.
it away. We've given it away. And until we get it back, I'm sorry, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good.
Again.
Why do people go to the traditional Latin Mass?
Yeah.
Why are they converting to Catholicism through the traditional Latin Mass?
Right.
Because for the most part, they have manly men as priests. I know them. And they're known. It's no nonsense. It's no nonsense. It's really that simple.
Yes.
When you're out, when on your list of things to do, things to promote, things to accomplish before you die, one of them is to see that homosexual marriages can be performed in the church. You've lost,
Big time.
and you're going to continue losing.
Can I jump in and just say that as a
I
layman,
wish you would.
okay, but as a layman, one of the major mistakes, in my opinion, and it was a church discipline mistake, but it was letting women in the sanctuary, okay, as altar servers. And people are going to get mad at me when I say this, but you know what, Father? I'm so sorry. Ladies do not belong in the sanctuary to do the readings. Let your husband do that, or a man do that, or an altar boy do that. And let me just say why this is so important. When we were young teenagers in the mid-'70s, early 70s, we had a Catholic priest, Father Chris Tuitt, God rest his soul. He had about 28 men, teenagers, football players, linemen, basketball players, baseball players. We were all athletically inclined guys, okay? And he would not allow women, because they were trying to push that even in the mid-'70s. And he said, no, this is not a place for women on the altar. And why do you think so I thought, well, that makes sense. And so my point to you is, he was teaching us not only at the altar, he taught us the catechism. He got us the Baltimore Catechism out when I was a teenager, and I'd already studied it, but he had all the guys know their faith. And all those guys that I know right now still are practicing their faith. My point, Father Murr, is the tragedy of bringing young girls onto the altar, and I'll just say it strong enough, and I don't know why I'm trying to make enemies, but I'm just speaking the truth, and that is, I think it's child abuse to let the girls up on the altar. And let me hear you why I say that, and you can correct me right on the air. I think it's child abuse because so many of these young girls are thinking, oh, this is great. Now I'm thinking, hey, maybe I should become a priestess. I can't. But the fact of putting him up on the altar is giving them false hope. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay. Well.
Also, let me remind you of a time. I'm older than you.
You are.
So you might not remember this as well as I certainly do.
Okay.
not even men were permitted in this sanctuary.
Yeah, that's what I read. Yeah, but no, I didn't.
Laymen were not.
Yeah, yeah.
This was what made it so special to be an
Domain.
altar.
Yeah, yes.
To be an altar boy, I could be where my father and uncles couldn't be.
That's a great point.
I mean, it's true.
I don't remember that, but I
And I had to be especially, well, the men didn't do the readings. The priests did the readings.
yeah.
The men didn't come up to help out with communion.
No.
The priests gave communion.
Yeah.
It was very simple.
Mm-hmm.
The priest did everything. I remember when our parish priest was he was a good man.
Yeah.
He was a good man. He approached my mother to help with communion. He wanted her to be a Eucharistic
Yeah,
ministress.
extraordinary. Go ahead.
Extraordinary ministress.
That's right. That's the Robert Knight term.
And her response to him was, no, absolutely no. And he said, Anita Jane, is it because you don't think you're worthy? I mean, is that it? She said, oh, no, it has nothing to do with worthiness. She said to him, you priests do so little now.
I love that answer.
And you want me to take away that too?
You be watching TV when
You're giving away that responsibility
Yeah,
too?
no.
I've been in rectories where, and I'm serious,
I have to.
where I've run over to help with communion
Yeah.
and been told not to because there are lay people giving out communion.
Yeah.
And 7 priests are sitting around having cups of coffee at the dining room table,
Scandalous.
listening over a
Yeah.
loudspeaker where what point the mass was at. It's incredible. We've done this to ourselves.
We have.
But we have done just about everything we can do to eliminate the specialness
Yes.
of Jesus Christ present in the Eucharist.
If you like the message of Virgin Most Powerful Radio, type in under comments, Jesus is King.